Okay. Here, let me do my little recap again. Last time we got like barely 5 inches into the third case. We had a talk with Sholmes and Iris about recent events. Iris wants to go see the great exhibition with all the sciencey stuff. And also we've heard that Sholmes is missing the exhibition because Lord Baron von Zieks has been attacked recently and he's been investigating that. So we have gone to Lord Strongheart both to ask for our badge back, or whatever the equivalent is to prove that we are a lawyer in this setting, and to ask about what happened to Lord Baron von Zieks. And Iris tagged along because she wanted to go to the exhibition. Alright, now, since I didn't examine everything last time, I'll be doing that this time.
Oh, I know! So much reading material! I'm very envious. I've really been running out of things to read recently.
That's because you read so fast.
Perhaps little by little I could swap some of the books here with some of mine from home.
I don't see why not. No one would notice, or at least I wouldn't, even if I was reincarnated 3 times over as a librarian.
That's very specific. You know, whatever works.
I've just had a great idea!
What is it?
We could hide inside these suits of armor and spy on the Spub Watchmaster to find out what he's really like.
I don't have much interest in what Lord Strongheart is really like, though.
Oh, please, it would be fun! You could be inside the left one and I'll go on the right.
You really want to have a go in a suit of armor, don't you?
Now you're making fun of me because I'm a child, aren't you?
I wasn't making fun of you at all. I'd like to have a go, too. The cogs of the giant clock are keeping time as usual with their steady, rhythmical motion. It's really quite disturbing how little sound they make considering their massive size.
Someone very brilliant must have designed it, and whoever maintains it must be very talented, too. But I'm not entirely convinced it's even a clock.
What? But what about the huge clock face that forms a window over there?
Some people just make machines that move for the fun of it because they enjoy watching them, rather like how Hurley makes his rambling deductions just for the fun of it. Even if the outcome isn't quite right.
Never mind all the trouble it gets others into along the way. The Lord Chief Justice's desk. When you look at that, there's no mistaking Lord Strongheart's authority, is there?
But the light from that window behind is far too bright. It'd be very bad for the eyes.
I hadn't thought of that. There are no curtains, that's for sure.
What's more important? Having a desk with an air of authority or having eyes that work?
I can't say I'd ever considered it. After all, my little office barely has any light to speak of. And I haven't really seen my desk in a while.
Is that because you're a cluttered person? I think so. The armor. Nope. I was trying to go to the next room. Okay, we're good. Now we can chat with Lord Strongheart. Permission to work.
I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the courtroom again. Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you are a substitute for a compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on this study tour, not me. It should have been Kazuma. He was so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. That was his calling. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Osuki is my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studiously obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's wonderful news, Runo.
In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope. Of course, please, tell me more.
A curious affair.
You described it as a curious affair? Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware that there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday? Oh, no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see. How was it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think?
Instantaneous kinesis? As in moving things with the click of the fingers?
That's right! It's just what my herbal blends need. A dash of devil may care.
Whatever the serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris' imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage, and a man lost his life. A certain Mr. Odie Asman.
Odie Asman. What's the pun there? Odie? Is that just supposed to be like he's Odie Asman?
An investor and a well-known figure in society. A large explosion.
A man died?
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain.
Okay, yeah, there's the joke there.
He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder. What? Murder? If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation. The Great Exhibition is a scientific experiment gone wrong, and murder? I feel out of my depth before I've even started. Still...
We should go to the prison straight away then and try to meet this German professor. Don't you think?
Definitely. Yes, one more thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper. Oh, with Lord Van Zeeks? How?
And here's the Forensic Science Symposium. He said that he was in charge of it for the fair.
All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition, and next month the largest and most important of them all will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium. It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it? Exactly!
Ah.
London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate, so it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible. Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it? Exactly! The future of policing!
Ah.
Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to adoption of forensic methods. Oh dear, that's alarming. Exactly! It's extremely alarming!
Ah.
If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures, and I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim. Sorry? By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail every one of them now. What?
Oh, how fascinating!
It all began 15 years ago. I was... Oh no. No, don't fall asleep! No, Runesuke, don't do it!
Oh god, did you just fall over? Okay, he was still standing apparently. I love how they like put a little echo effect on the like the dot beeping noise. Oh god.
And that more or less sums up my feelings on the matter in the simplest of terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission. Oh, right, yes. That's wonderful. Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be. Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now.
She's a kid.
Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful?
I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science.
Oh, I thought we were gonna ask about Lord Baron. Oh, probably have to present the article, don't we?
Oh, that reminds me, have you seen this? The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition, of course. No, not that. The story on the back page. What story? The Reaper attacked. That.
Oh, wait. We can actually take a look at the text on here. Skeleton captures bumbling burglar. Fiery ball corn? Does that say corn? Oh, hello, Zoe! Welcome in! And thank you for the welcome back. Fiery ball gown sets dance hall ablaze. French court hears glass eye case. Altamont Gas Company ad. Women form new suffragist group. Okay. London's top prosecutor Barrack von Zieg's life came under threat yet again as a group of heavily armed assailants, brandishing large knives and pistols, ambushed him last night. The sight of the Reaper, the Bailey, and his companion valiantly keeping the mob of blackguards at bay was captured by this reporter, who then rushed straight away to the police to report the most heinous of crimes. So, money, fame, or love? Oh, love, obviously. I've always been Team Love ever since the first game. As host of the Great Exhibition, the City of London can ill afford to have such brutal acts of violence occurring in its streets, and the Lord Chief Justice's office is sure to have response to this latest incident. As to Lord Van Zieks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition. On the right, it says something about King Christian VIII of Denmark issued a proclamation today announcing the results of his careful reconsideration as to who the rightful winner of the prize. His father, Frederick VI, offered for the first man to discover any new comet with the aid of a telescope should be. It appears that the winner will not even be a man at all, but rather a young American lady by the name of Maria Mitchell of Nantucket, Massachusetts. Though there are multiple competing claims of the new comet's discovery from all nations, including one by British astronomer Mr. William Rudder Dawes, King Christian was swayed by the fervent petition of Harvard President Edward Everett, who urged the charge d'affaires of the United States at Copenhagen as the fact of Miss Mitchell's prior discovery is undoubted and recognized throughout Europe. It would be a pity that she should lose the medal on a mere technical punctilio. Whatever the fuck that means. Alright. I'm not gonna bother reading the rest.
You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Oh, Mr. Reaper, what happened to him? He wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zieks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does. Strangely.
Gay, homosexual, gay. What do you intend on picking, Zoe? Money, fame, or love? I feel bad for Fry. She always gets like the odd choice out picks. Like, nobody I know is going on fame. They're just going money or love.
Fortunately, Lord Van Zieks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? It's related to events that occurred a month ago. A leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zieks. But the man was acquitted. I've no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchman certainly seemed to think so. He was a man by the name of...
Oh. Oh, okay.
He was a man by the name of Asman. Mr. Odie Asman. Did you say Asman?
That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, the head of a significant criminal organization. Unbelievable. I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zix as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom, and fearful of that fate, they seem to strike at Lord Van Zix first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zix work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. That doesn't make sense. How can you explain the way so many have died if not by someone's hand? Van Zix may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the Crown. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course.
That sounded very ominous. Why did you have to include that?
Well, I must be leaving for my next engagement. I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's quite something. That meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh, yes. Where would I find Lord Van Zix now? I would assume he's at his office. Right, I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course, yes. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my lord.
Away he goes. Wait, no more examining. New location. I mean, theoretically we should be going to the prison first, but I want to go see Lord Baron Von Zeeks. Oh, this is a fancy office. Oh, there's his wine and his wine glasses.
Oh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office?
Yes, it appears so.
Power, it sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
Is that? That hooded figure was so still I hadn't noticed his or her presence. I wonder who it is.
Is that meant to be the hooded figure? What are you doing here? Oh, no, it was meant to be Lord Baron Von Zeeks. Okay.
He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. I'm glad to see you're well. I am. So, who's the person over by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. That's my apprentice, and he's sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. He must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat, a requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the newspapers? The Reaper. I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming, that is, such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms.
odd, but okay. Let's look around.
Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of the finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee these chalices being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
They're crystal? They're not just glass? Oh my god, how much money does this man have?
And you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Oh? Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. So, it's my fault? Silly me, how could I have ever thought otherwise?
Chessboard. Well, that's not a full chessboard, but I guess I can draw everything.
Lord Van Ziek's desk it's Lord Van Ziek's desk. Look, it's so stylish.
And that's a marble chess set beside it.
Chess? That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems.
Oh, really? You probably like chess problems in that case.
I'd love to challenge Lord Van Ziek sometime. To a bout of shogi problems.
If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that on your own at home.
Look, let him be petty. Let him challenge him to a game that he's not actually gonna know about. Is that Lord Baron Von Zieks?
That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it?
Oh, maybe it's not him. He looks a little young. Or maybe it's when he could be younger in this.
It's a very majestic outfit and pose, but sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Ziek's facial features.
Yes, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think.
Oh, that reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
How vain! That's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
That portrait does not depict me. Surely, that's immediately obvious. Oh, then who is it?
Your father, maybe? Perhaps a grandfather, somebody in your lineage. Are those bats? Hang on.
Oh, look! It's a scale model of the Great Exhibition Showground!
That's amazing. I wonder why it's here.
Perhaps he may take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person?
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely it's obvious I'm using it as an investigative aid.
Ah!
Unicornies have no business painting others as overly reserved. Really didn't think he'd overhear that.
Investigative aid. He must already be on the case then, for the explosion.
The bats! Give me the bats!
Oh! Oh, I didn't expect that.
Ah! They're bats!
Yes, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
What about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar, just not the flying kind.
He must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper then.
I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary though, either way.
Oh, are these wine kegs?
Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall there.
Casks in the Reaper's chamber? Or are they caskets?
You don't think? All those people who escaped conviction in court are lying inside them dead, do you? What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Oh, yes, of course. Thank you for clearing that up.
Ren and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves to my office to talk nonsense within my earshot.
Let me log down real quick. Alright, now you. Who the fuck are you?
It really looks like a punishment to me.
I've never seen someone sitting like that before.
He hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. You think perhaps he's dead?
If he was dead, Runa, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's gonna talk to us.
He's not dead!
No? Same thing? Yeah, same thing. Alright, then that is this room. Now we can converse.
Which Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack? True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Asmon's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably, some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odie Asmon. He is always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers, a global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by underhand means, via his criminal activities.
And he wanted to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances, it was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Osmond died when the demonstration of the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. And you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no, that does seem a little far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least.
It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him? Oh, yes, that's right. Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert. Albert Harebrain. Oh, that's right. Do you know him by any chance? Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
Oh, okay. College buddies.
You're...
What?
You're a contemporary?
I understood that Professor Harebrain was from Germany, though. Harebrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research, that's all. So you're students together? I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science, so our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along, though I've not met him since my university days. I certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. And with you, of all people, representing him. If only I make it out of this office alive. He's actually been charged with murder, it seems. Yes, I know, because the prosecution will be handled by me. By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends. We are friends, it's true. Then why would you do this?
If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed.
What's Lord Van Zieg's thinking? Okay. Some spicy drama, perhaps?
What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean? I'm a crown prosecutor and a mortal like any other. I'm no demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them. But that's not true of Mr. Natsume. For example, he wasn't a vile wretch at all.
No, Miss Ginny. In fact, she's ever so hardworking now.
I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile witches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. But Strongheart's are the same. He believes you're not involved in any way.
But you attack those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially. Oh. It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say? I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor. But putting you in danger, you could be killed. If that is my fate, let God decide. Fensiques.
Well, let's present this to you.
Lord Fensiques put the article in his paper. Ah, yes. It seems a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me.
Looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you have run away, though.
Rest assured the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about him?
Tell us about this mysteriously hooded man, and also apparently masked in the photo.
He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor, so you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Unlike you aren't a Hurley then, Bruno.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. Looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. On Lord Strongheart's orders, nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. Why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There'll be good reason for his actions. I hope you're right.
Oh? Hi. You look very ominous like that. Like, very Phantom of the Opera for the mask.
Ah. The task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collate all the briefs.
Okay, you look very ominous, honestly.
Nice to meet you. Back to work again, I guess. That was really strange, though. I've never met the man before. I didn't even know he existed. And yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter.
Gay? Fellas? Is it fruity? To think that the first time you meet someone that there's a reason why you're meeting? Hello? Gonna have a little snack real quick. I'm gonna mute myself. The wafer rolls that I have, it's mostly like my fiance who eats them, but I snack on them occasionally. We're down to the last couple sticks, but these are the ones that broke in half, so I have to like dig deep into the thing to actually grab one of them, and it makes a bunch of noise, so I apologize for that. I can't really control it. Because I was gone last weekend, I forgot to do the whole like actually get myself a proper mute button set up. Okay, I have my little snack.
Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice, anyway? Huh? Oh, no, I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to... The way he stood there so casually, yet with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. Yes, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? That Nipponese man, is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago, with the stoop, and the mustache, and the jitters. Let's go, Victoria Weekend continues.
Oh, hello, Healbot! Welcome! What do you mean Victoria Weekend? Is somebody else playing this game?
Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo.
He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see. Well, I think we can end our discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case. Yes, thank you for the advice, and for the conversation. I can't believe he's asking after Saseki-san. After Nipponese. I'm not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried.
I never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books.
A mad scientist? You mean Professor Hairbrain? Yes, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zieks, I think.
Nothing else to present. We've already examined everything. So we're moving out of here. Well, actually, I'm curious. If I go back... Okay, the examine text for him doesn't change even though he actually talked to us this time. Alright, to the prison. Victorian England. Oh no, I didn't type that out. I see, okay. There he is. He's our crazy little guy from the cutscene. 22nd of October, local prison, cell 11.
The warden said cell 11. That's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain?
Oh, he's such a nerd. Oh god, okay. I mean, like, I feel like I have to give him a pretty nerdy voice, huh? Maybe not like aggressively so. Maybe just like a little bit as a treat. I guess. Who are you?
I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a defense lawyer.
A lawyer!
Was it something I said?
Well, he's got such pretty eyes.
A lawyer, you say? Oh, would you be here? About the experiment?
Are you going to defend my hypothesis?
Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't...
Yesterday's demonstration! That magnificent demonstration it was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens! No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity. Now is probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while too. I can't examine, so let's just converse, I guess. Yesterday's demonstration.
You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in an explosion, didn't he?
Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you really wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense, the experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success.
You've lost me.
I saw with my own eyes right there in front of me. Mr. Aspen was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, he should have been beaten to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded. Mr. Aspen in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Aspen was an accident, correct?
But the bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that, I wish to be punished. At once. But... Murder? Never in a million years. It was an accident. Simply an accident. I see.
Harley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or a murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds? Ah, yes, it's only established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act. That one passed me by.
If the case is treated as murder, then they'll say my machine was...
Then they'll say my machine was the murder weapon. They'll be able to pour over it as much as they like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. That machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. I see now.
Interesting. This music is so goofy for him, too. Let me just listen to it real quick. No, pretty good music. It's very, like, light and upbeat. I like that a lot. There was a point where I was almost convinced there was some sort of string instrument. I think it's mostly just like woodwind stuff and, you know, triangles and percussion, though. Oh, that would be brass there. Alright, so in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes, or rather no, the devil's in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me.
You're demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating!
Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible, using a sufficiently high voltage, to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. That's my idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. Gosh, that's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it, dare to dream such an incredible technology. Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and then the next, I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yes, that would be incredible. And then the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at a great Parisian theater, say. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding wardrobes on rocky seats for 50 days?
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I didn't feel like it had shrunk.
Oh, my word, that's exactly right.
What are the implications? What does this mean?
When you don't have the STEM major take any humanities classes.
Oops, that's got Professor Bunnybrain really worried by the looks of it.
Clearly this is yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless, the science works, but without a practical demonstration it means nothing. And that's always the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it, yes.
Harley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Osmond. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean?
Let's ask about the victim first.
The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Osmond, wasn't it? What exactly was your relationship with the man?
He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I think the lucky stars!
I see, so you haven't really known each other until then.
Money for scientific research? I'm so envious!
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really?
An archangel, even! He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And that went well. I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Asman provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owe everything to Mr. Asman. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life.
Well, it seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying.
Let's see, now is the Reaper's varsity years.
I understand Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days?
Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science.
What was he like back then?
Good question. Assuming, gentlemanly, and an all-around nice fellow, really. Gay?
Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Barak Van Zieks. What was he like when he was at university?
Talk about a leading question, Runo.
As I said, not assuming an extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zieks family with all its great aristocratic origins.
I didn't realize he had such quite noble blood.
Little darling?
I'm just imagining if he had any sisters and he's the little darling of the family. Do you think they could have dressed him up in his sister's clothes? It was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less.
Yes, that's right.
I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after graduation.
Really? What sort of event?
Oh! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time, so I was in Germany already.
Oh, yes, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, I really don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zieks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow.
Ooh, that would be awkward. That's his own friend.
So, Professor, let me just make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. The huge explosion that occurred yesterday, that was an accident, you're saying? You had no intent to harm the victim who is in fact the sole investor in your work, is that correct?
As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in the machine of my invention, so I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions, to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science. It's all I know. You've got to believe me. Please. Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that all my life.
I'm afraid I don't know much about science or your theories, but I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. That's all I know. You have to believe me, please.
When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. That's not true. Stop being capitalism propaganda. I like this theme though. This is a new one, isn't it? Hang on, let me just take this in too. I really can't tell what instrument that's supposed to be, but it's a good instrumentation. I love the bass in here. Ooh, delicious.
Thank you for that, Professor.
And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
Alright, Runo, it's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate at last.
Okay, I guess that just means we move. The experimentation stage.
Showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I've felt myself swooning 3 times.
There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've always been trodden on 3 times too.
Oh, be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't go with my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. Ooh. Yikes. The Crystal Tower has its own clock, so it's almost certainly not the clock in Lord Strongheart's room. Yeah, it's definitely not, because that clock has been there since the very beginning of the first game. Or is that not meant to be a clock? Like, it kind of looks like a clock, but now that I'm counting it, there's way more than just 12 of these little things here. Oh. Maybe just a fancy tower face? What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. Sounds like an argument. Hello? Is she employed now? Hi, Gina. You're so cute. Okay, right, I've had it with you this time. I'm warning you. I'll arrest you in a minute. Well, yeah, go on, Inspector. Give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence, and you know it. Wait, I know those voices. You got a chic little mouth on you, young lady, but a night in the cells will teach you some manners. Just try it. I dare you. You want that bag of chips rammed down your throat?
Yoo-hoo! Grexy, what are you doing up there?
Then he just jumps off the building to get down to her. Ah! It's you! Here, you're here! Here you are! You, here! Your ladyship! How are you, your ladyship? I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Does that make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I want to ride in a balloon, but there is a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go now. Wait for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. No, we learned our lesson after Holmes did this. Sholmes did this. Spies Gregson, Inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Of course there should be. Watch it, Sunshine. Sorry. What gives then? Don't tell me out in this case. Yes, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Timmy, that's the situation, isn't it? Is it really that troubling? I'm sitting here trying to figure out, like, why is he so strange about this? I guess we could go with, like, when we first saw the first cutscene for this, I had a theory that the experimentation wouldn't actually work, and they would just move the body to make it look like it did. So I wonder if maybe that's what he's suspecting on his end. Cheh. Amazing 5 bob, is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? You can stand to carry a bit more cop around in your pockets, Mr. Naruto. What? Hey, that's one less bit of spending money, that is. You can have back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob. Oh, this is Gino Lestrade, pickpocket or diver born and bred in the East End of London. In the case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago, this is the young girl I was defending in court. What's your problem, Naruto? Oh, sorry, what's your problem? Diver, pickpocket, what's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips run down your throat and all, do ya? I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I see you've been up to your usual tricks here at the showground. That ain't no way to talk to a lady, Odo. After it's been a long time, people can change. I'm an apprentice now. Learn to be a Scotland Yard detective. You have to call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now. Oh no!
Oh,
What have they done to you? You're a cop. Oh, jeez. Can they at least please tell me that even though she's a cop, like, she's still doing something to not fully be one? ACAB.
Inspector? That badge is homemade, surely. Inspector Bar isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway. Investigating is off the cards for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Alright, well, I'll be back up top. You'll have work down here, right?
Right, sir.
This raises a lot of questions.
Well, firstly, we're gonna examine the staircase.
This platform must have been set up for the experiment, I suppose. It's very high up.
About 35 feet above the ground, apparently. That's what a policeman I just spoke to said.
I don't really understand feet very well. We don't use them in Japan.
Oh, yes, sorry, it's about 9 meters. But soon you'll have been in once a year, you know? It's time you got used to our measurements.
Yes, well, this is a thing. This thing is so tall. The spectators at the front would just have seen a wall and nothing else.
They probably thought they'd secured the best spot to watch from, only to be disappointed.
There's a saying in Japan, the darkest spot is right under the lighthouse. I feel like it probably applies here.
Okay, nothing for this. Oh.
These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment is being conducted.
Oh no, my plot! No! Don't get in the way. I want to go explore the rest of the room. Smoke and everything, wow.
So that's it. Is it the machine that blew up?
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion, and I've seen my fair share.
You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Oh yes, Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
Ah, that might explain some of the smell about burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs.
Over time, you made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. I wish you'd been there to see it, Bruno.
It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Well, anyway, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Look, Inspector Gregson's over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst adding up the machine car carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Where to start? Because I can't move, it looks like. Can I... Nope, sorry. Can I examine any of these buildings? Yes, I can.
There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Bruno. I do wish I could go and see it. I present a particularly steely samurai with a prison.
A particularly steely samurai with a present of one of Hurley's stories I'd written especially. Uh-huh. A steel samurai, one could say.
See if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some Baritsu master ninjas.
So Bart used to. That's just the plot of Steel Samurai. Oh, goodness.
You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think.
Oh, well, that's dull.
But I do know prosecutors at
Chonmage... Oh, God. Chonmage Topknot I could introduce you to.
A Chonmage, really? Do you think I could have my picture taken with him? Do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Cosmo gave him a year ago, yes.
Alright. Nothing down. Oh. This guy looks like.
Ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently? And mercilessly.
So someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed. Not blasted. That's the point.
Yes, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Runa, I'm just a child. How should I know?
A child when it suits you, mean.
From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this lever here...
Stop! Don't touch that!
That was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you just flew over now, Gregsy.
Oh, please, your ladyship. I didn't mean to startle you, but I can't let you touch anything up here.
So sorry, you can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Yeah. Give me more caffeine.
Man, I might have to start just having like a can of Coke or something whenever I stream because the midday drowsiness just keeps hitting. Ugh. I keep trying to shake myself out of it and nothing's working. Even my little sticks with the, they're supposed to have caffeine in them. A mocha cream. Mocha. What those mean coffees? Yeah. A coffee cream filling is what it's called. Coffee powder is one of the last ingredients listed though, so maybe there's not a lot of it in here. Then again, the whole thing is just a few different ingredients. It's like the sugar, the enriched wheat flour, palm oil, milk powder, cocoa powder, soy lecithin, dextrose, and then the coffee powder's there. Oh, alright, let's try and stay away.
Ah, wonderful. This stuff is really wonderful. It's just like what times this is. We're representing Professor Harebrained in court tomorrow, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ah, listen, Sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted special dispensation for a Scientific Equipment Act to blame. It's driving me potty. Oh yes, that special dispensation. The professor mentioned that too. More red tape's all we need. I don't know what the government thinks of playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Aye.
Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy?
Gosh, your ladyship, anything you say, your ladyship, but please don't get your dainty hands dirty, will you?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Runo?
She really knows how to get what she wants. Alright, back to examining. Let's do this Ferris wheel next.
But what is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel.
Oh, that's a Ferris wheel. There'll be people riding inside those little cabins you can see.
Why?
Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still.
Yes, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about
Half an hour? Oh my god.
I feel like that is way longer than modern day Ferris wheels.
If you're mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runo.
True, that is a type of ride, isn't it? One of those scary ones.
Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Harebrained was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine when we can, I think. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, you hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise, so please spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, do you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? Yes, looking totally incredulous. Give it a rest, Sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly. The annoying, obstructive, flaming rules.
Oh, look at the base of the machine there. Oh yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think.
Oh, isn't it a lovely one? The handle's in the shape of a capital letter A.
It is? Oh, yes, you're right. What's the matter with you? Don't touch anything I said. Touch anything, I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung up myself, I said. Yes, I understand. Sorry, I only touched it a teeny bit.
But Gregzy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. We're really very, very curious.
Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Bruno found it first.
I assure you I'll investigate it thoroughly. He's gone off with it.
Oh, that was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson's going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment now.
Oh, poor Gregsy.
Rest in peace. There goes his paycheck. Living up to the gumshoe legacy. Wait, is that really everything up here? Oh. That's all you can examine, I guess.
Using the high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body and then beam him across the crystal tower? It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. True, it was by far the most unusual experiments planned for the exhibition in mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean? Government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the odds about public safety infringements. They can be the first to develop some new technology and makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see. Yes, I suppose that's true in a way. So the powers that be are trying to place a heavy emphasis on scientists' rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
Making it so that any theories the brains have remain their legal property, as it were, right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene, because the new highfalutin Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. Ah, I see now. The only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the Yard. The Forensic Investigation Team, it's called. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The Forensic Investigation Team? Investigation Team? Is this Persona 4? Any old fool considers this heap of scrap metal was a sham to begin with. That's just because it says scientific equipment on the paperwork. We can't do a flaming thing about it.
Poor Gregsy, he's very head up. Head up, isn't he?
Maybe they meant to say fed up. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? Oh, you have me at it, Sunshine. It's the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
Yes, I think Curly mentioned that recently. The real twinkle in his eyes, I remember.
I'm sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for this great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service, and if it gets rubber stamped, there's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Thanks for that.
I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun.
It might be fun to you, but a member of the force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Hang science, that's what I say.
Oh, I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
You'd say anything otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shamus bogus contraptions. If they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Yeah, well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry? It's another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory of invention is deemed to show potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding? Exactly. And that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to hog up Clyde Park. And who's to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely welcome them? Us coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science! Hang it!
Oh, maybe I can see your point. And now Professor Harebrained.
Apparently Professor Harebrained lives and works in Germany now conducting his research. That's right. Came back to Britain, especially for the Great Exhibition as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else from the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. It turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Von Zieks. Huh? What's that? That's news to me. But if Von Zieks demands the prosecution as the accused, the professor's fate is sealed. Because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Well, I mean, that man's beyond me. Don't know what goes on in the head of his. Talking to Van Zieks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, Mr. Reaper's completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
Yes, right. Glad to hear it. Still the Reaper, huh? How long is that business gonna keep up, I wonder?
Mr. Reaper.
The victim of this case, the investor, Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims, or so I heard. Well, Barrick Van Zieks is a top-class prosecutor, but even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yes, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zieks initially. He also knew he was taking matters into his own hands if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. We've done a very thorough investigation. The conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zieks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. There's no question in my mind. Stake my reputation on it, I would. If that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants couldn't just have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? And that's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Harebrained mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zieks was a totally different person, easygoing and kind. You know what? He said it was after they both graduated that something happened to change the man. Do you have any idea what it was? No clue. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself somewhere elsewhere, eh? Iris isn't happy.
Is there anything I can actually present to you? Let's try doing this. Did I not go into? I did not go into present.
Inspector, have you read this paper? Yep. Two unwelcome blasts back to back. This one an exhibition and the Reaper getting attacked. I know. Terrible news to wake up to, wasn't it? Tried to pretend I hadn't read it and turned over for another 40 winks. Thanks to that, I was laid up and got roasting from the super. Some mornings are like that, aren't they?
Okay. You know what? I am going to take a quick break. I am going to do a little bit of stretching, try and wake myself up a little bit, see if that helps at all. I'm going to be back at 4:30. That's my goal. I will be back. I have decided that I am currently quite tired, and my little attempt at like getting up and stretching did not help. I'm gonna go ahead and save here. Very sorry to cut things off early. I'll make sure to put out a little tweet about it. I still intend on streaming tomorrow, and I'll do my little thing of getting some caffeine in me first. That way I'm actually awake for everything. Very sorry about this. I really don't know why my sleepy bitch disease has been striking. Alright. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for stopping in. Everybody who did, I appreciate you spending your time with me while I was still here. I was about to say good night. Good afternoon. Or good night, or good morning, wherever you guys are. I know a lot of you are different time zones.